Am I the butthole for not giving my wife her daughter's address so she could see the newborn? Hear me out, please. I'm a 46-year-old father who lost a daughter, Molly, years ago to brain cancer. Molly's death broke me. She was my only child. I'm no longer who I was before this tragedy. I married my wife when my stepdaughter, Sarah, was 15. Sarah had issues with her mom. Her mom would kick her out over small arguments. She kicked her out for getting a haircut, for failing one class and other reasons. Every time she'd bring her back home and tell her to learn her lesson or she'd be kicked out. One time her mom kicked her out over a dairy at 17 and Sarah had enough and didn't return. She started working. I remained in contact. I just couldn't let her struggle. I tried to help her financially but she refused. She's incredibly independent and a hard-working person. She reminded me of Molly. I decided to help in other ways. I got her a better job opportunity by calling someone I knew at the time. This way she still had to work to earn money, which is something she wanted. And also work a better job that appreciated her more than the previous job. She's an artist. She wanted to be a graphic designer. I sold my old car to pay for her courses. She started paying me back bit by bit only because she's independent. She lived with her then boyfriend, now husband, and paid for other things. My wife didn't try to mend things. She disowned Sarah the day she got married, but I stood firm and told her that I'm free to talk to Sarah and she should respect that. I attend gatherings with Sarah from time to time and she calls me dad in front of other people. In the past it was just my name. This sounds crazy, but I believe this all happened just so I could meet Sarah and have a chance at being the best father that I could be. She's now 22 and just had a baby girl a few weeks ago. I visited several times and we talked. She told me that it was unfortunate that she lost her dad but was glad she has me in her life. I cried, although I'm not good at expressing emotions, and it got worse after Molly's death. My wife knew about the baby and demanded I give her the address so she could go see her granddaughter. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell. And because she's already dealing with postpartum and will not be able to deal with her mom's behavior. My wife threw a fit and said that this is her daughter and grandbaby and I shouldn't try to stop her from seeing her. She called me selfish and cruel. The argument didn't stop. The family are agreeing with her and telling me to stay out of it. I argued with my wife about it again. And she said I had no right and that I needed to give her the address. She didn't even seem regretful or wanted to apologize. Everyone is blaming me, telling I'm being cruel and demanding I give her the address. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell. It begins and ends there. You are honoring Sarah's wishes. You would be a huge butthole to do otherwise. As it stands, you are the opposite of a huge butthole. You are a wonderful father. Congratulations on the birth of your granddaughter. May she be a light in your life that reminds you of your Molly. NTA. You're right, that's not my decision. But they're telling me I was the one driving a wedge in the family. Truth is, I'm not trying to lose Sarah's trust, and there are boundaries that I cannot overstep. The one who drove a wedge in the family was the one who disowned her own daughter. The rest of the family have a problem with me and see this as an opportunity to put the blame on me for what happened. I used to care in the past about what they say, but not anymore. After everything I've already lost. Losing them is in fact a blessing. The problem here is that it sounds like your wife is making this a "oh, poor me in my situation," and basically does nothing but make you look like the bad guy here and poisons them against you. That's super toxic behavior and all sorts of yikes. And the fact that they're listening to her is also concerning. I was surprised after finding out that he'd stay with someone who would kick out their daughter because she had a diary at 17. And then disown her later. Right? And that she got kicked out more than once, all for doing things that are completely /normal/ for teenagers. She's an absolutely horrid mother and I don't know her, but she's trash. Up, please. You deserve far better than your wife who treats her daughter like garbage and emotionally manipulates you. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what he meant by a dairy. Diary makes more sense, LMFAO, thanks. Didn't even notice the typo. But getting kicked out for having a dairy would sound even more stupid than she already sounds. Mom certainly had a cow after find that out about the daughter. Why would you even stay with your wife at this point? Her and her family sound horrible and you already have a good established relationship with Sarah. Be the family that makes you guys happy and move on from the toxic people. I was going to ask how you could stay married to a woman who would do that to her child. That was exactly what I thought. I too was half of those such as that. Yeah, I really need to hear this question answered. From what I understand, sometimes step-parents stay in relationships with bad bio-parents because after a long enough time or when the child is old enough they have more of a chance to fight for certain privileges having to do with the child. I could be misunderstanding that, but that could be a reason he is still with this woman. Otherwise, it's probably super complicated, but she sounds awful, laughing my butt off. At this point I would actually applaud original post if they said they were staying just so they get everything when the wife dies so he can give it to Sarah. I mean, if the wife has actually disowned her, the rest of the family could make a case if there was any inheritance to keep it from her, but if original post is around, then his spouse, unless there is a will, he gets everything which he can then give to Sarah. Even if he knows all Sarah will do is burn the house down to spite the woman. But I'll admit that 90% of the time I'm the butthole and would willing tolerate someone I hate just to screw them over later. Shrugs. I'm generally not a nice person and I'm okay with that. I came here to ask the exact same question. I'm not sure why anyone would have married someone who treated their daughter that way. If she can treat her own children that cruel, she can treat someone she's married to that way, far more easily. This is what I was going to ask. Does your wife have any redeeming qualities? 'Cause she sounds like a witch. Honestly, their opinions don't matter. Your wife disowned her daughter. That means that since she has no daughter, she has no granddaughter. And thank you for doing what's right by Sarah. That's a huge thing, even though it doesn't feel like it. I think it says a lot that Sarah hasn't reconnected with any of her mother's family. Sounds like she thinks they're all a toxic bunch. Look man, as it stands you are NTA. But I do wonder, why are you still married to your wife? Kicking your daughter out over such petty stuff. She doesn't sound like a good person. Definitely not a good mother. And now she is playing the victim card and not even regretful. Please, no matter how awful they are to you, do not cave in and reveal your stepdaughter's location. You've tragically lost one beautiful daughter. Betraying her trust would see you lose another. Both you and she deserve a happy life, and now you have a wonderful grandchild to look forward to being involved with. You are NTA, but your wife and extended family are. Don't let them take 1 second of your happiness away in the future. Support your stepdaughter, she's your real family by choice now. What's your relationship like with your wife? It doesn't sound like she's a good person to be with. Exactly, she disowned her daughter. She has no granddaughter. I agree, 100%. The moment you give any information about your abuser wife to her victim, you will stop having any privileges of being in her life you currently have. Remember that. Other way round surely? If he gives information to his abuser wife about her victim. NTA, you are the kind of step-parent everyone should have. You didn't force the relationship with your stepdaughter and allowed it to grow organically. She allowed you to help in ways that didn't impede her autonomy. You have been there for her in the way her mother failed miserably to be. You have Sarah's trust because you have earned it over time. Not breaking that trust is the only right to do. There may come a time in the future when you can gently broker a truce between your wife and stepdaughter, but that time is not now when she's dealing with new motherhood. Sarah will let you know if and when the time is right. Your wife created this situation by her terrible parenting, and she is the one who needs to accept that she is responsible. Until that happens, she cannot begin to heal the relationship. Unfortunately, this may prove to be more than your marriage can stand. I wish you good luck with navigating this difficult time. Tell or remind them your wife kept kicking out her daughter multiple times over ridiculous things before Sarah had enough. Tell them it is Sarah's wish to not have contact with her mother. Not the butthole for you. It is great that you and Sarah have a good bond. You sound like a reasonable, caring person. They clearly have no relationship with Sarah either, otherwise they'd have the address. Throughout the post I'm having a hard time understanding how you can even stand to be in the same room as this woman, your wife, much less stay married to her. Uda for staying with a woman like your wife who is abusive to her own daughter. You are very clearly staying out of their mess by not giving her the address. If you were not there, she wouldn't have another way of getting it except contacting Sarah and apologizing and trying to rebuild their relationship. NTA, keep staying out of it. You're a good dad. I'm sure both your daughters are proud of you. Welcome back to being a dad. This is what dads do. They protect their child. Sarah made her wishes clear. She wants no contact with her biological parent. She wants a relationship with you and calls you dad. So be her dad. Protect her privacy. Do not tell biological parent, aka your wife, where she can be found. Make sure you are not followed when you go to see her. Reevaluate your life and happiness and prioritize yourself. I know it sounds crazy after losing Molly, but you are allowed to be happy. And it sounds like being a dad and now a granddad makes you happy. It also sounds like you have been one heck of a dad to Sarah and given her the tools to be a strong, independent woman who is now building her own family. I'm not going to immediately jump on the divorce bandwagon. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, and not my marriage. But I encourage you to evaluate your life, happiness, and priorities. If Sarah is a priority, then put the rest of your life in order to reflect that. Best wishes. MM. Exactly. Not the butthole by any stretch of the imagination. You are a wonderful father and respecting Sarah's wishes. Your wife threw away many chances to be a decent mother/grandmother. It is not incumbent on you to be the family peacemaker. Yes. I have a deadbeat father who I haven't spoken to in years. He would send cards occasionally, then my husband and I moved and I did not give him my address. I told him I didn't see the need for him to have it as I didn't want him to send me cards anymore. The first holiday after we moved was Christmas. He sent a card and told my mother, who were in mid-divorce, that he Googled my address, and found it in a really gross way. While we weren't hiding our address, we made it clear we didn't want him to send cards. It was so gross seeing him send a card. I think it's also pretty convenient that Op's wife only wants to contact her daughter after she had her baby. Op's wife doesn't care about her daughter. She just wants to look like a good grandmother. Why would anyone want someone that abused them around their own child? Original post is not the butthole all the way. His wife is delusional. Good on him for standing his ground. NTA in the kindest way I can muster, get a divorce. Agree. Divorce the wife, keep the daughter. Then what will the wife have? Answer: nothing. It's a harsh truth, but truth nonetheless. It's her bed she made. Which is exactly what she deserves. It's her own fault though. Exactly, she made her bed, she can sleep in it. Agreeing with this, yes lol. In the nicest way possible. It's legit illegal to kick your kid out that young. Keep respecting Sarah's wishes. It seems she may prefer you over her mom as a parental figure anyways, and you can be there for her and baby. Everything happens for a reason. NTA. Came to say the same. From another comment, I'm leaving the house tomorrow. I couldn't stand all this pressure. Sarah told me she didn't want to be the reason her mom and I get separated, but at this point I can't take it anymore. Damn. The mother literally continues to tear the family apart. How pathetic of a person. Regardless that it's not the daughter's fault, she'll probably feel she shoulders the blame, even though her mother is the whole reason for this. Broken heart, this guy has to deal with so much. He says in another comment that he's leaving the house tomorrow. That's a step in the right direction. At least it will decrease the chances of her finding the address if she goes snooping. Normally I think people jump to that response too fast around here, but yeah, that woman is vile and likely subtly abusive to her husband normally. Right now she's out and out abusive. Original post is NTA, the woman who would disown her child like that is definitely a butthole. It's really puzzling because original post seems like a real honest and caring dude, yet married to someone who could treat her own blood so poorly and disown her. This seems so incompatible. NTA, she is going to boundary stomp all over her daughter. Don't let her. Please make sure she can't follow you or track the daughter down. Personally, I'd rethink the marriage. And seriously. You let her kick out her underage daughter. That's really awful. I'm glad you're making it up to her now. Don't you dare ever tell anyone not approved by the daughter to know how to find her? Don't you dare ever tell anyone not approved by the daughter to know how to find her? He's doing the right thing. You don't need to be rude and yell at him. He definitely effed up in the past though. This is a sub for calling people out. You let her kick out her underage daughter. That's really awful. Yeah, because he has total control in a household that he only owns half of and to his wife's kid whom he has no authority over. Get out of here with that bullcrap. The guy is legit a good guy doing the best he can in a crap situation. Get off your high horse and look at the situation realistically. He did not have a lot of options, but he did the best he possibly could for the daughter that wasn't even his. What the hell is wrong with you? And do let the daughter know that other family members think her mother should be told of her whereabouts. She might inadvertently allow others to visit or send gifts, and then they could pass that on to mom. Delete the address from everywhere you could have it, GPS and phone/car, texts, emails, written down, and make sure she never has access to your phone to impersonate you to get the address. When you need it, you can have Sarah tell you again. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.